episode 86. Hello everyone and welcome to Wolff&Schafe podcast. My name is Magdalena and this is a podcast about mostly knitting, but other crafts appear here as well because I cannot focus on only one thing, so from time to time I am jumping around. So you might see spinning, embroidery, watercolor and other stuff. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, and if you are a new viewer, welcome. This is a podcast made in little town of Adliswil, near Zurich in Switzerland, where I live with my husband Gleb and our 4-year-old son Stasio. However, I'm originally from Poland. And yeah, what else should I add at the beginning? We've had a wonderful weather last week. It was just amazing. It was like all of a sudden in the middle of spring we got 1 week of summer. It was incredible. It was somewhere around 27-29 degrees Celsius, so it was basically summer. Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under my full name, which is Magdalena Wolff with double F. And if you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Leave me a comment, I always appreciate them. And yeah, I think we could start with the knitting, because today, you guys, it's all about the FOs. It's amazing. I have a Blur of FOs today for you. Where should I begin? Maybe here. Maybe here. So, my Something Wicked Mitts by Kristin Lehrer from Wool and Vine Yarns and Yarngasm podcast. Hi Kristin! They are done! They are finished, they are comfy, and the yarn that I used was Swedish Pint in the Winter Rosen colorway, which means winter roses, and it's a blend of BFL, silk and cashmere, I believe. So gorgeous! Of course, when it was 29 degrees, it was not mid-weather. However, I'm comfy for the autumn already, so yay! I love them. I just love them. And yeah, I used really not a lot of yarn. Sadly, I don't know where I put it. But yeah, I might easily knit another pair out of this skein. So yay! They are gorgeous. I really like them, and I'm a great fan of fingerless mitts because they are so convenient, you know. I don't need to take off my gloves fingerless mitts to get my keys, to open the door and everything. I can use my phone. It's very convenient. So these are done, and yeah, you might have noticed the background. Yes, this shawl is done. This is Fairy Hills shawl by Helen Stewart, and it's gorgeous. How can it doesn't really match this t-shirt, but yeah, let me zoom so we can see better. Look at this lace. It's like a cobweb, even though this is fingering weight yarn, and I think these color play great together. And this is Wool and Vine Yarns Wilderness in the Fig Beige colorway, which is a blend with mohair, I believe. I had a tag. I lost a tag. I lost all tags recently. And this yarn is Eden Cottage Yarns Titus 4-ply, which is merino silk blend, in the algae colorway, and this is how much I have left. So quite a lot, but not too much. I will be using this for my blanket, of course. And yeah, it's too warm for this weather, but look at that. Just look at that. Here you have like more stockinette space, and then the lace gets more dense. And I've been saying this many times, but I really loved how the pattern was telling you how many stitches you should have, and at what percentage of the pattern you are at the moment. So it was great. And I knit them on 4mm needles, which is your size 6, I believe. So yeah, I just blocked this yesterday and woven in the ends today. So it's new for like a chilly evening when I go out somewhere. When I go out, that's the key. That's the key here. We're actually thinking next week is my birthday on Thursday, and we're thinking about calling our babysitter, so maybe we could go for a nice dinner, but I still don't know if it's gonna work. So we'll see, and maybe then I could wear this. And lastly, look at that! It only took me something around 4 months to complete this pair, but I am done. So, I haven't blocked them yet. Well, I suppose socks you really don't need to block, but I like to block my socks because then they have this, you know, this nice crease here, and also the stitches like even themselves out. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, I will block them. The ends are not woven in yet, like I do. And the yarn that I used was Naughty or Jinx Yarns Strong Sock in the Naughty or Nice colorway. So it was a Christmas colorway. It's April, but who cares? And yeah, and I used up almost all of the yarn, and it was my second pair of socks, so I can easily make 2 pairs of socks for myself for 100 skein, 100 gram skein. And again, I love how these color repeats, they have like in the middle of the heel, this is a Fish Lips Kiss heel, they just change. Here it's a more subtle change, but still this is red, this is green. Here it's a really striking difference. And I often make contrasting heels, toes and cuffs. Heels, toes and cuffs. But I did not have enough yarn of this colorway, and this is Wolff&Schafe yarns blitzed in the Neptunia colorway. So I thought I will just make regular heels and make only contrasting toes and cuffs. However, can you imagine that I was like, okay, this much yarn, I had not enough. So because I was also the cuffs I was knitting from like one tiny cake, so they were already like they were already connected, like with a very short piece of yarn, you know, like this. And I was like, uh-oh, what do? I thought that one more round will be okay, because as you can see, this ribbing is not too tall, but this part here is tall enough, so it's not a problem. But yeah, I thought one more row and then I will bind off and it will be perfect. But no, now it was not enough. So I wonder if you can tell, but here, is it visible? Here I used a different yarn for this, only for binding off this. Yeah, this much of the sock I bound off in a different color, and it's not too visible, I'd say. It was this nice. I had some leftovers in my granny stripe blanket bag, which is huge, by the way. And yeah, and I found this yarn that I had like really a tiny bit of, and I used for this. So I'm glad I managed, because otherwise I would have to rib back and the cuff, the ribbing would be even smaller. So yeah, finally, and I have a new pair of socks. So imagine that, it's no less but than 3 FOs this week. That's just incredible. And I love the socks. And I knit them on my regular size for socks, which is US size 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. And then I also have the wolffiowce sweater by, and it's not finished now. That would be just too much, wouldn't you say? So this is the colorwork sweater by Ellie from Scandier Knits. And yeah, this is where I am. I did not work on it too much, but I'm on this more delicate part of the colorway work. Well, it's more delicate only because of the colorways I chose. Some people have this part more subtle. I decided on this one, and you guys, I'm loving it so far. Those here, like something like V's or X's will be created. So yeah, and this is Jamisons of Shetland Spindrift, and the colorways are, and the main colorway is Lagoon, this one is Cloud, and this one is Prussian Blue. So these 3, and I'm knitting, so the ribbing I was knitting on 2.5 millimeter needles, so on my sock sized needles. The main color, the body, I used 3 millimeter needles, so it's, I think it's US size 3. And then for color work I'm using 4 millimeter needles, so US size 6. It's such a difference for me, but I think it looks okay. And otherwise it would be too tight, and we wouldn't want that to happen. So yeah, this is where I am with this one, and it's yeah, it's fun, it's exciting to be knitting on color work. However, I need to be focused when I'm doing that, and that means I cannot always work on this. So lastly, there's one other project. Yeah, my EYF socks. I know, EYF, it's been already a month ago, over a month ago, but usually, to be honest, a pair of socks takes me a month, because I'm never focusing on the socks only, and I'm knitting on other things. I'm knitting on socks usually on the train or while watching podcasts or watching a movie or something like that. So they're always, you know, this project that is saved for a brainless time. But this is where I am. This is Knitting Goddess, her sock blend in the Octarine colorway, so Terry Pratchett inspired colorway. And yeah, both heels are done now, and I'm knitting the cuff. So at the moment, I mentioned that these were my Harry Potter socks. First EYF socks, then Harry Potter socks. Now these are Star Wars socks. Because we are done, Gleb and me, we are done with rewatching Harry Potter movies, and now we are rewatching Star Wars movies. And yeah, we're watching not in the order they were made, the episodes, but in the numbers. Well, the inner chronological order of the event. So we started with episode 1. And yeah, so watching Star Wars and knitting on these. And I will be honest, when I first watched Star Wars, I was in high school, because in my home nobody was interested in anything like that, and it was mostly my mom and my sister deciding what we were going to watch. So it was never something. Well, it was mostly romantic comedies, so never something of supernatural type, which I love. That was the problem. Anyway, I had like many holes in my movie education. So at some point I decided, everyone knows Star Wars. I don't know what's it about. I should watch it. So I borrowed videotapes from my cousin. Yes, these were still videotapes, and I watched 4 oldest episodes, so episode 4, 5, 6, and then I borrowed another tape from my colleague from school. It was episode 1. Back then only, this was all. And I was totally not into this. I was pretty bored. It was, well, okay, but was not really invested in the story. But then I watched it after some 10 years, I suppose, when I was already married, I think, or just before, and I loved it. Oh my god, it was just so different. It was fun. It was simply fun. So right now I love Star Wars. Well, it has its flaws, but yeah, I just enjoy it. So I'm enjoying it, and this was a long digression, but yeah, Star Wars socks. And yeah, this is it for knitting this week. I think, did I say? These are also, yeah, these are also 2.5mm needles, higher sharps. 1.5 in US sizes, and these are shorter than my Chow-Goose, because Chow-Goose are extremely long, and this is like 100 centimeters, because it's not 80, it's probably 100. Anyway, it fits for 2 socks at a time. So yeah, this is for crafting this week. I wanted to show you something pretty before I start talking about my life in general. So as I mentioned before, next month I'm going to Poland for my cousin's wedding. And I've been thinking, because some years ago I've been learning traditional Japanese dance called Nihonbuyo. And I used to perform on different occasions, even once at Gleb's cousin's wedding. I did perform. So I thought, since it's such a special occasion, maybe, and also my most fancy outfits are kimonos, so I thought maybe I would just dress in a kimono and dance for them as an additional wedding gift. And I contacted them, and they were delighted. So I will be, from now on, I will be practicing to do this performance of Nihon Buya. I'm planning only like 3 dances. I think this is enough, especially for people who are not familiar with Nihon Buya. And I have just chosen the fans that I will be using for the dances, because if you're not familiar, this type of a dance is a dance that, for example, Japanese geishas dance. And usually, most of the times, a fan, traditional fan, is used. So, and it looks like this. So it's pretty. I have a nice little collection of fans, and this one has a pine pattern, and pine in Japan has the meaning of like it's an auspicious tree, and it means longevity. So for the first dance, I chose a dance about best wishes for the new couple, and the pine, I think, would match it really well with with this auspicious dance. It is a dance. It's funny because most of the dances are that women dance are women dances, but there are some male dances that also women perform, and this one is a male dance that, like, you change a bit the way you're dancing, your posture, how you place your feet and everything. So it's interesting. It's it's just different, and yeah, I think this fan will be perfect. This is wood. Here it has, I don't know if you will be able to tell, but here there are some pieces of metal inserted, like small, so that the fan would be well balanced, because you need to do various things with it. So yeah, it's a very nice and well balanced fan. So this will be for my first dance. Then the second one, I'm planning on dancing. It's a story about, like, there's a New Year, but in all Japan, New Year was like now in China, so it was in spring, early spring. So it's about a young wife who's going out in the morning to get water for the first new water in the year, and her husband is away, and she's waiting for him and looking for him, and yeah, it's this kind of a little story, and it starts with the words of plum blossoms in spring. So plum is a symbol of spring, and it blooms around already in February. So I chose a fan with plum blossoms. I think it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And yeah, it's reversible, so it's the same on both sides. And the last one is very cool, you guys, because you're using 2 fans to dance it. The first part is with only 1, and then you switch to 2, which is very cool. And it's a story about a group of friends who go to the park. It's already like the middle of spring, and of the sakura blossoms, or cherry blossoms, cherry petals falling around, and they are admiring the blossoms. And then one of the girls from the group decides to dance a dance of one lady, a wife of a samurai who was alone at home while the enemy attacked, and she herself protected the house. So she was like a wife warrior. And for this purpose I decided to use this fan. So it's a cherry blossom, but on black, and also the title is Kuroda Bushi, so it's a warrior from Kuroda, and Kuro in this name means black. So I think it will be gorgeous. And for the second fan, when it's already again about cherry blossoms and fun of spring, I chose this one. So it's again, it's also sakura. It's also cherry flowers, blossoms. So yeah, I thought you might enjoy, because I love those fans, and I'm pretty excited to be using them in public. Also my kimono, I hope to show it to you one day, and not at this moment, because it's hard to just show it like this. I would have to have it on myself. So I will probably, after the ceremony, I will just pop some pictures of me in it. And yeah, looking forward to that. I will be honest, I'm a bit rusty with these dances, but I have my sensei, my teacher on the video, so I will be, you know, able to reconstruct all those moves. And also the more I practice, because I've already started practicing, the better my body starts to remember the moves, if you know what I mean, because I've practiced them a lot some years ago. So yeah, this is what I will be doing, and yeah, I hope it will be okay. I've asked my sister to be my assistant, because I thought usually when you perform Nihonbuyo, it's just the music, and sometimes there are words with the music, and you dancing. But I think that for a European viewer who does not A, understand Japanese text, B, is not very familiar with this kind of performance, I thought that a commentary, like a discrete commentary here and there, what the dancer is showing to us, like for example, that, oh, she's admiring the cherry blossoms, or she's pulling the water from the well, or something like that. So normally my husband would do that, but he will be here in Switzerland, so during the wedding, so I asked my sister to do that, and I hope it will be all okay. We'll have like 2.5 days to practice before the wedding, so fingers crossed it goes okay. All right, so oh yeah, last thing, what was happening last week? As I said, it was a gorgeous summer week, and I had my friend from Japan, Eriko, visiting me, and because she's just traveling through Europe, and I wrote to her that, yeah, I'm here, you can visit if you want, if you're in Switzerland, please come. And she stayed here for a week. She was going to various places in Switzerland, because Switzerland is not a big country, so you can go somewhere and be back by evening the same day. So yeah, so she did that. We also had a nice trip, because I thought she's such an open and curious person. So I thought that maybe she would be interested in a tour of the Google office, because this is the place where my husband used to work. He doesn't anymore, but we still have friends in the Google Zurich office. So I asked my friend Tom if he could do us a tour, because there are a lot of things to see there. And yeah, she was excited about it, and she suggested that maybe we could go out in kimonos, because she has this like a mission at some point in her life she realized that, well, you know, Japanese culture is maybe known more or less, but it's, for example, wearing kimonos, people do that less and less because kimonos are expensive, kimonos are more difficult to put on, you need to know how to do it, stuff like that. So it's, yeah, it's less and less cultivated, and she felt that it would be good if she promoted this culture when she's traveling around the world, that she would promote this culture. Because she said, for example, when she visited India, that so many women were wearing their traditional clothes, the sari, and she thought that so few Japanese people wear the kimonos. So she borrowed, well, she took a kimono that she has inherited from her grandmother, and she just sometimes wears it and does the sightseeing in the kimono, promoting the Japanese culture at the same time, which I find really cool. And yeah, and she said she will be wearing a kimono to Google, so I said, yeah, if you're wearing kimono, I will be wearing a kimono, it will be awesome. So we did that, and it was fun. And other than that, yeah, we had a really nice time. I spoke a lot of Japanese, which is something that I haven't done in quite some time, so it was also cool. And yeah, it was quite a busy week for me, but it was enjoyable. So yeah, this is what's been happening. This week should be more chill. And also the spring weather is back, so some rain and lower temperatures. I'm not very sad about it. There will be enough hot days in the summer, so so yeah, this is it for this week. If you've enjoyed, please let me know by thumbs up and subscribing. And I love comments, as I said. If you would like to know something about my yarns, there are links in the video description here to my Etsy shop and to my homepage. You can check out my regular colorways and such. And yeah, I wish you a very, very crafty time. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!